Big budgets, huge worlds, 70, 80 price tags. But do these games actually deliver real value or just look expensive? This looks like a hardcore Souls-like, but it really isn't, and that changes everything about its value. Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG inspired by Chinese mythology. You play as Destined One, fighting monster with a magic staff. Combat is quick, you press, it happens. Simple as that. Dodging, timing, spells, it all works from the start. Here is the key difference. The game helps you a lot. Spells can freeze enemies, transformations give you second chances, and most importantly, you lose nothing when you die. So it feels fair, even forgiving. It's actually a great entry point into the genre. Progression is deep but flexible. You build your character with skills, spirits and upgrades. You can experiment without being punished. The challenge early on feels too low. Tension drops once you understand the systems. Some fights repeat, and the lack of weapon variety can feel limiting. There are also some technical issues. Glitches, invisible walls, occasional crashes. Not constant, but noticeable. Visually, it looks incredible. Unreal Engine 5, strong art directions, unique locations. Enemy design stands out in almost every chapter. This is a Souls-like for people who don't like Souls-likes. Core experience 9, time value 8.4, price 70, WIG 8.1. If you want a more accessible action experience, worth it. Not if you are chasing through Souls level tension. But not every big game is this fair. Let's look at one that gives you more freedom, but still controls how you play. You are forced to play two characters, even if you don't like one. And yes, that can get annoying fast. Assassin's Creed Shadows is an open-world RPG set in Japan. You switch between a stealthy shinobi and a heavy samurai. This dual system actually works. Naoe is fast, silent, perfect for stealth. Yasuke is slow but brutal in direct combat. Fights feel cleaner than before, more controlled, and stealth finally has more options and freedom. The world is huge and gives you reasons to explore. Seasons change gameplay, not just the visuals. Missions are more engaging, and the story holds up. Even the dialogue is actually decent this time. But there is a catch, the game still forces side content for progression. Enemy AI is weak, like always, and many systems feel very Ubisoft. Big, repetitive, sometimes wasting your time. You are paying for freedom that the game keeps limiting. Core experience 8.2, time value 7.5, price 80, WIG 6.8. Only worth it on sale, especially if you are tired of classic Ubisoft design. Or is this still your kind of game? Now let's scale things up. What if the game looks massive but slows you down for hours? You track a massive monster across the desert and suddenly you are in a full-scale hunt. It feels epic right away, but also strangely familiar. Early hours are all about learning the loop. You hunt beasts, craft gear and hunt stronger ones. It's simple on paper, but scale sells it. Huge environments, dynamic weather, intense encounters. You feel like a real hunter. Combat is heavy and methodical. You read enemy behavior, target weak spots, manage positioning. Every weapon changes how we play. And the monsters? Varied, dangerous and fun to learn. That core loop still works extremely well. All that sounds great at first. The game pushes the story much more this time. Big cutscenes, scripted moments, constant guidance. It looks impressive, but slows everything down. You feel a bit restricted before the endgame. Early difficulty is low, side content barely matters at the start. The interface is still messy, too many menus, too many items, and some systems unlock way too late. This is Monster Hunter, but with training wheels on. Once the story ends, everything opens up. Hunts get harder, systems finally click, and the real game begins. Core experience 7.1, time value 7.8, price 70, WIG 6.9. Worth it for long-term players, but the early game may test your patience more than your skill. So that is scale with limits. What if a game gives you full freedom and doesn't always control it well? The combat looks exciting until it starts to fall apart. This is Dragon's Dogma 2. You play as the Horizon, chasing a dragon that stole your heart. A classic fantasy setup with politics, monsters and destiny. The world feels alive, unpredictable and worth getting lost in. You walk somewhere and adventure finds you. Griffins fall from the sky, caves hide secrets, random events turn simple travel into stories. Quests are also smart, they don't wait for you. Ignore them and things change or fail. You actually need to pay attention, and the palm system? Actually great. AI companions feels useful, sometimes even clever. They guide you, support you and make the journey better. But combat balance is all over the place. Early game is too easy, late game becomes frustrating. No proper lock-on makes fights messy. Stamina slows everything down, and dying punishes you with long, annoying recovery loops. For a game about fighting monsters, walking is often more interesting. Core experience 7.1, time value 6.1, price 65, WIG 6.3. Only worth it for players who love exploration, otherwise the rough edges will push you away fast. Now let's switch again, a smaller scale but a much more focused story-driven experience. Stealth is the big problem here. Star Wars Outlaws wants you to sneak a lot, but the systems often feel too basic. You play as Kay Vess, a thief trying to survive the galaxy's criminal underworld. Instead of Jedi drama, this is hate story, and honestly, that part works. The world is better than expected, not another bloated Ubisoft map. Planets feel varied, the story keeps moving, and side content usually fits the main plot. The faction system also helps. You work with different syndicates, make choices and live with the results. Nyx is another strong point. Your little companion makes stealth more dynamic and more fun, and Key herself is a good fit for this kind of story. But the sneaking never reaches its full potential. Enemies are too dumb, useful tools are limited, some basic features are missing. And when stealth fails, gunfights can feel awkward and too slow unless you lower the difficulty. $70 for pretty good? That's a big ask. Core experience 5.9, time value 4.6, price 70, WIG 4.9. Not worth the price, unless you are a big Star Wars fan willing to accept shallow systems. And finally, a game that gives you everything at once. The real question is, how much of it actually matters? This might be one of the most beautiful games ever made, but also one of the most exhausting to finish. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth drops you right after Midgar. Now the world finally opens up, bigger, brighter, way more alive, and at first it feels amazing. Exploration has the classic sense of freedom again. Every region looks unique and carefully crafted. Cities mix tech and post-apocalypse in a very natural way. Combat is fast, flashy, but still readable. The new synergy system adds real teamwork. Pair attacks feel powerful and satisfying to use. Boss fights more like rewards than obstacles. And the presentation carries everything. Voice acting, character moments, it all feels premium from start to finish. But it doesn't know when to stop. Side content is everywhere. Repetitive tasks, long checklists, slow progression. You feel forced to do them just to keep up. And over time, that sense of wonder turns into fatigue. The story also gets messy. Unnecessary multiverse elements weaken key emotional moments. Some parts feel stretched just to add more hours. Great game if you have the patience of a marathon runner. Core experience 7.9, time value 7.3, price 50, WIG 8.3. Yes, if you focus on the main experience, but completionists may feel overwhelmed. So are these games actually worth full price, or are we just paying more for games that still waste our time? If you want more no-nonsense breakdowns, subscribe. More games like this coming soon.